What's up, everyone? So we're here for video number 2, I guess. Right? I'm still trying to find a structure for this and trying to find make these videos worth it for you guys, or you get something out of them. But first, I wanted to say that I'm trying to commit. I'm committing to having a video up every 2 weeks. So this video will be uploaded 2 weeks after that first one that we did. And a lot of stuff has happened since those 2 weeks. One, I did lose a couple pounds, so if I do look a little slimmer, okay, you're not wrong. I did drop some weight. Okay, so I'm currently dropping more weight. I'll weigh myself in camera for the next video so you can see it. I'm also trying to show you guys like a day in the life of like being a gym owner. So kind of one of my long days of like getting up at 4 a.m. and basically not going home till like 8 p.m. some days, 9 p.m. Okay, it all depends how the day goes. But more importantly, also, I wanted to show you guys also like my journey, like I mentioned on my last video, kind of like my weight loss journey or my transformation, because I did gain, when I opened my gym, I was like 215. And right now I'm more in the 260 range. So this is way heavier than I've ever been in my life, like in my lifetime. So I am trying to go lower. I use the excuse of like, I'm competing for strongman, I need to be heavy. That was all crap, yeah, right? Because like it wasn't true, because it was like I was just not focusing on myself. So now I'm trying to do that a lot. So I'm trying to show that a little bit of the journey, you know, and kind of like keep myself accountable in that way. But one of the biggest things I've seen right now these past months, other than like eating but well, getting healthier, just, you know, having like a structure in my nutrition, is also like my training. You know, when I gained weight, my training kind of took a hit a bit. Like it was kind of, I would kind of do what I wanted to do today, what I felt like doing, just because my motivation was really low in training. Like I just didn't feel like training because I was just working way too much. So now what I'm doing is I'm still working a lot, but I'm setting more boundaries, and I always have like an hour of a day that I have to work out, or I'll set it in my schedule when I have to work out, because boundaries is crazy important, more when you're a business owner, since you don't really have a boss creating your schedule. You kind of have to create it yourself. So yeah, so that's something that's worked. Right now, I haven't really been back squatting like barbell. I haven't really done deadlifts or bench press, all that. And I've really been doing this for almost like 2 months now. And I will say my joints feel the best they felt in years. Like it's ridiculous how much better I feel. Like I'm 32 years old. Like I know I'm not old, but I have been training since I was like 18. So like I do have a lot of mileage in my joints. So I might be younger than most of my members, or not most, but a lot of my members. But I have more miles in training than like most of them do. Maybe, I would say maybe the whole gym. So me taking a step back and not really focusing on pushing the meter, you know, every time of like just coming in and trying to break a PR on deadlift, squat, and all that. I took a step back to then take 2 steps back to then take hopefully 3 steps forward, because I am planning on competing still. I do want to go back to competing. It's just something I really like doing. So right now, my training has been mostly non-barbell. So it's mostly like lunges, were like unilateral work where you work on like one side and then the other side. That's kind of how I've been training right now. And I'll kid you not, I do feel stronger than before. I know it's crazy, but I feel like just my intensity being lower has helped me kind of just keep more consistent with, which in the gym, that's what makes the biggest change, like consistency, what you can keep going, right? And so since I've been consistently training now for 3 times a week for 2 months and just consistently training, I actually feel stronger than 2 months before when I was doing barbell. So like, I'm excited now to go back to barbells and see what I can actually do. So I'm kind of going to show you a little bit of my lower body workout today and kind of how I go through the day today. Like this is how like most of my lower body workouts go right now. In my thighs, my quads grew an inch with these type of workouts. So you do not need a barbell to get stronger or get more muscle. Like it's a great way to do it. You can load up some weight. If you have good technique, you can make them work, but you do not need them, in my opinion. They don't have to be in your program for you to get more muscle. Like I'm literally getting more muscle right now with not using the barbells, right? So I'll show you guys a little bit of my training today. Before I start, I just wanted to show you a little bit of like how my week breakdown works for right now. I also, before I start, I just wanted to give a shout out to my coach and mentor, Joe DeFranco. I am a strength coach. I've been a strength coach for 12 years, but a lot of the stuff I've learned from Joe, I first started listening to Joe for years in his podcast, and then now I'm part of his, you could say, part of his crew and his mentorships, and I would consider him my friend now. And this is mostly his work that I'm doing right now. I also kind of needed a break, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to follow his programs and guidance for now and learn some new stuff. And yeah, and definitely this type of block, I usually don't do this, but it's worked great right now. So what I do is like a push day, right? And then a lower body day, a pull day, and then a full day. So what this means is that like day one, it's mostly like pushing exercises. It could be dumbbell press, chest press, shoulder press, stuff like that. Day number two, but you always do back. Even if it's push, we still do some back movements. Lower is mostly like what you'll see today, just like unilateral stuff, kind of like prioritizing range of motion and health over like lifting heavy. And then a pull day is to use the back more, all right? Because you always want to make sure that your back is getting hit hard. Is a big movement it's a big muscle that you want to keep healthy. Because if you keep your back healthy, your shoulders will stay healthy. A lot of stuff will feel good if you go hard on pull. All right, and then full day is just to make sure that you hit all these muscles once again on this one. So this one, you'll make sure that you hit all this again, basically. Like I said, you want to follow him, Joe DeFranco. He has a YouTube channel. He's not as active on YouTube anymore. He's more active on Instagram, but his podcast is definitely a cool listen to every week. This is supposedly says push. I don't know what I did there, right? I'm kind of weird with spelling sometimes. So yeah, push, right? Don't judge my spelling. I'm a strength coach, not a teacher. All right, guys, just finished my workout. My warm up. That's how hard it was. That it's making me feel like it was a workout. So if you hear a little bit of hard breathing, that's me just cooling down from the warm up, which and in all sense, it probably did its job, right? So now, this is the first part of the workout. So if you saw in the warm up, it was a lot of ankle mobility, a lot of hip mobility stuff. Hips are super important for just squatting, for you to keep your knees healthy. You got to make sure that your hips and your ankles are moving right. If those aren't moving right, your knee will start compensating and it'll start hurting. Usually most people's knee issues kind of go away with focusing on ankle and hip. But now on the workout part, we're going to do a reverse step up first, which kind of means like you're getting ready to do like a pistol squat. And then we're going to do a hamstring curl, which works on hamstrings, and then calf raises, which also works on the back part of kind of like your leg area, right? So the reason I've learned to do this, it's actually from Joe. I learned this from Joe, and it works great, is that, most people, we believe that you need to start with like big movements, right? But like a back squat or a deadlift or anything like that. But when like your joints hurt, if you have pain around, you actually won't produce as much power just because there's pain around. So what we really want to make sure is that everything's firing up. So when you get to those movements, like we're not doing those movements today, but if you get to those movements, you're nice and warmed up, nothing hurts, and you can actually express all the power you have. So this one is really going to get my posterior chain firing, which is the back side of my body, hamstrings and calves, and also some quads there. But since this pistol is going to help me work on my stabilizers for that side, for each side, okay? So I'll get you through these. one. I had a knee surgery, patellar tendon tear on this one. So it's not an excuse. I've used it for an excuse for a lot of years, first years. I'm definitely trying to get it better, but it is a lot of years of protecting it that I have to undo. It's gotten better, but I still gotta push it. So squats. I'm moving on to this one. So this one is, I am trying to get back to deadlifting in around a month. So a good way that I do that is, that I've seen work, is that I rather introduce like a hinging movement, right? Like a barbell RDL first, rather than just going right back into deadlifts. I kind of like work those patterns back again to kind of get, when I'm back on the deadlift, my joints are more used to doing it, you know? And then reverse Nordics, this is for knee health as well. It works your quads. It's basically like a leg extension. These are the reverse Nordics. I will say, first time you do these, it does feel like your knee's gonna pop. You could put a mat on your knees. I'm just not doing it because I'm lazy. I'm just trying to get through it. So this one, your feet could go like this, extended. I usually try to keep them like this, just because it's more comfortable on my ankle. And then really keeping those hips forward, then going back as much as you can. And then from here, thinking about a leg extension, pushing those feet to the ground so your quads do the work. You definitely could go lower if you go with your feet flat like this and then up. So when you barely do these, you will feel, like I said, it kind of does feel like your knees are going to pop. Okay, but till now in my 12 years, I have not seen it happen. So if it happens to you, you're one of the few percentages that it could happen. Okay, but relatively safe. Keep those hips up, forward, stretch the squats, and then leg extension on the way up. Okay, usually keep these really low reps, kind of like 6 reps, just to make sure that you're actually focusing on the movement. And now, these are the number one cheater straps, right? Figure eights. If you don't know what figure eights is, specifically, you basically wrap it around your wrist like this, and the bar just loops around it. You just grab it like that. You're basically not even gripping the bar. These are like the number one cheater straps. But if you're using RDLs, if you're doing RDLs, and you really just want to focus on the hamstrings, I would definitely purchase these. And these are Cerberus. Okay, these are the best ones that I've seen. Not like I own a bunch, right? But I've seen a couple other ones, and these are the best ones. So, right. So I'll show you how these work, right? Since I have a tremendous amount of weight, tremendous being 185, and it's loaded all crappy just because I do have a client coming in a few minutes, and I just got to get it going. So basically, how this one works is you go here, right? And I always go like my hand on the edge of the bar. That's kind of like my grip for the deadlift. And you just grip it like this, and then you just go to the side. All right? And then here, grip it again, right there. If there's any freaking strap periods that's going to call me out on these, I don't care. Okay, they work for me this way, and they work for my clients. So, yeah, kiss the booty. All right, here, right, you're going to go up. Remember, like a regular deadlift, brace. All right, it turned into a teaching you how to deadlift video. Then down. All right, here I am again. I know you can't see me. Here, all right, down. See me again. And up again. Okay, let me. Definitely not optimal to walk with this, but let's try to get it done. Back. Up. It's back. Up. Back. Up. Woo. All right. Sorry, guys. Horrible angles. I'll get better. Do ba 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 do. So I was cutting it short, and I wasn't able to talk to you again between each block, just because I had a client that was going to show up soon. Client showed up, trained them, and then after I finished the session, I finished my last sets that I had for my workout. That's why I'm sweating a little bit. And then now I'm trying to get some lunch in before I start my PM sessions, right? So thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you again in 2 weeks.